Dave Robin with NASCAR.com. For all three of you or anyone that wants to take it, I mean, as consistent as you guys have been all year, how big a deal is to get another win, with Jimmy winning the last two in a row? How big is it to get another win and stay pace with the bonus points?
That's all we have talked about for the last 2 or 3 weeks is just what do we got to do to win more races before the chase starts? And we had this conversation Friday night sitting in the holler. We had this conversation Wednesday afternoon at the shop. So, I mean, it's just something that for the 29 team, it's just something that we've talked about for 2 or 3 weeks, and to be able to come out and capitalize on it tonight is what we have to do.
We got one upstairs, then we'll come back. I see Jim and Greg.
Tony Bullock, Courier Tribune. For Kevin or Gil, you guys talked about the points lead. With just a few races left before you get to the chase, how comfortable can you be in rolling the dice to try to pick up some more wins, balancing that with trying to keep your momentum and keep the cars running week in and week out as good as they have been?
Well, I mean, obviously, we're in a fortunate situation to be where we are right now in the points lead. And as far as rolling the dice, I mean, obviously, we're gonna try to do that as much as possible because we need to get to victory lane as many times as we can because basically that's what Richard pays us to do. So we've got to get there, but at the same token, we've got to get there smart and make sure that we're not only consistent, but we have some speed. But we're going to be able to take some chances possibly that we haven't been able to take in the past. That, like Kevin said, we're going to be in a situation where we're going to have a fleet of cars that's ready to go to the chase, not one that was just barely able to get there. So that's what we're looking forward to more than anything.
Jim Ottershaw, Observer. For Kevin, this goes back to what you were talking about the change around. How important is it to be in a situation in this race where you have teammates that are running with you up front? I think Jeff Gordon showed that you could have a fast car, but without anybody else there a teammate, he wasn't able to stay out there very long.
Yeah, I really felt, over those last 20 laps, I didn't think that they could beat us, nose to tail with myself and the 33. And I really thought, like I say, coming to the white, I really thought that was how we were going to finish. But we worked really well together tonight. Everybody's getting along really well. I know we all have our moments where we get mad at each other, but I think we were all on the same page tonight and really working well together. And I think it showed up on the racetrack with the results that were about to happen coming to the white flag. And we were fortunate to get into victory lane. But all the cars ran really well tonight. And from a team standpoint, that's really all you can ask for.
Okay, we got Greg, Dustin, and then Kim.
Two-parter first for you, Kevin. How much in this whole turnaround and the performance and winning and being back on top, how much did getting all that contract junk out of the way play into that? And for any of you guys, it almost seems like this is the last race on this old pavement, and we're all talking about the new pavement. It's almost as like this is some kind of mystical thing, kind of thumbing its nose at you, as wild as this thing was tonight on the last race on this pavement.
Yeah, I think as far as the contract stuff, I mean, that stuff all started in the last year and really took off at the beginning of the year before we even got started. And, I felt like, and I'm sure Richard feels the same way, I felt like we handled it amongst ourselves. And there was really a lot of progress as we moved month to month. It just took time to get it all done. And I really think that as we went into the year, everybody was headed in the same direction and knew what we wanted to do. But it just took time, and it really, other than answering the questions, it really didn't affect us internally. Gil does a great job with the guys in the shop and making sure that they're motivated, and we never talked about it from a team standpoint. Nobody ever said a word. As far as thumbing the nose, I think that this racetrack is obviously the most historic racetrack that we race on, and I think if that asphalt could talk, you can go back and look at all the stories, but it's just such a neat deal to be able to win the last race on that particular asphalt. It's going to be a lot different race when we come back, and anytime you can win though, whether it's new asphalt or old asphalt, it's always going to be the baddest place to win, and that's Daytona.